What's up? Welcome to Let's Talk Real Estate and Stuff, podcast where we dive into the world of real estate investing and explore the random stuff that makes life interesting. I'm John Whitfield, joined by my co-hosts. We got Brandon, aka Papa P, from TED Sysops, and Carlos Zamora from Carrot and Investor Fuse. So buckle up for exciting ride. And today we're talking about TED Sysops, the world preview premiere party extravaganza for TED Sysops. Let's go with that.
Not too far here, actually, is for listeners of the show in downtown Miami. The future TED Sysops Arena is a few minutes away here from where Papa P and his family originate from. That's why that's the goal here.
The old Joe Robbie Stadium. What is it? Hard Rock now?
Hard Rock Stadium.
Back in my day, it was called the Joe Robbie Stadium. Yeah, there you go. Miami Dolphins are on a tear this season. We're Super Bowl bound, baby. This is.
Are you serious? That's crazy.
This is.
It's Papa P's team versus my team this weekend, and whoever wins
that's gonna, bro. It better be. Listen, I love my Dolphins, but we have a tendency to
talk it when it's important.
Yeah, well, what's the word for that? To it's the yips. We get the yips when it's important or something.
It's like
a little nervous.
It's the English World Cup team.
Yeah, it's like
see what happens to them.
So it'll be good this weekend. I don't know when they're playing, but I'll definitely make sure I'm available to be watching that.
1 o'clock.
Is it 1 on Sunday? Oh, God. That should be a nighttime game. It's going to be so good.
They should have flexed it. I thought that they were going to, but I was making sure today because I'm going to be here in South Florida, but with Ravens fans, and I was like, oh, that would be perfect New Year's Eve. We'll chill, very chill.
I couldn't believe what happened to the Ravens and the Niners last week.
That was awesome.
That was insane. Anyway, we didn't come here to talk football.
Yeah.
I am on a side note, just so everyone knows, just trying to be upfront with my mobile home purchases. I am currently working on a reduction email. So this should be interesting. It just what I uncovered on the septic inspections and stuff, plus what I've uncovered on like what they're actually collecting on rent is not like, and I'm being very generous. Like we were collecting 19K and it's really down around 14 of like actual collections, but then they're promising to rent out some other ones. So I'm even being generous, saying, let's just say you rent all these by closing. I'll add that back in, and it's still at the agreed upon what you were pitching me cap rate versus the income now. Like here's what X price is.
Is this the two guys that brought it at auction?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah.
And then
makes sense. You're gonna uncover things.
Yeah. And then, bro, we found, I don't know if you guys were following on Instagram, but I was showing everyone, they're running pipes into the woods for sewer systems. So instead of into a tank, instead of redoing the sewer system, and it might not have been them, to be honest, it could have been like that for the last 12 years. Who knows? But right now
it just runs out into the forest. And
we're just dumping shit into the woods right now.
God.
So I have to install some septics, and that's like two of them. Other ones, and this is a common thing in mobile home parks and in shitty things. I've seen it in houses in town Lakeland. So it's not just a mobile home park situation, but I have seen, and they're doing it on a couple, the dishwasher drain, because they didn't want to actually pay somebody to put it into the septic in the main drain. They just have it running out of the house and emptying into the yard. So there's a lot of stuff that's got to be redone, but it all adds up, and that's not what was promised to me or what was being pitched on the sale. You want a $1.8 million park, I'm going to need $1.8 million quality. I'm deducting what I'm estimating my costs, and I'm going to give it to them, and we're going to see what they're going to say. My due diligence is up on January 2nd. I wanted to have this done earlier in the week, but I've been really bouncing how I'm presenting this back to them. So, we'll see. We'll see if they approve it or deny it, and what's going to happen from there. But that's kind of where I'm at in my process of buying this park.
As a quick funny pulse of the week, I was going to say, have you guys seen some people posting I guess it's a lot of stuff where they say we're so-and-so, and then they say different tendencies they have, but people have posted we're wholesalers. Of course, 3 weeks after we get the deal under contract, we're going to come back for a price reduction.
I've seen that.
Those are hilarious.
They're doing it for everything. It started with the dinks. We're dual income, no kids, and then I saw someone do it for wholesalers. Now I saw it do it like we're toddler parents. I've seen it all for everyone's doing it for their niche. I want to put this out in the open. Throw this out there. If anyone has a connection to A&E TV where I could pitch a show to them, because apparently you can't cold pitch A&E TV, you have to know somebody.
Do you really need an intro? The guy Brad Holzman that does all the shows for like Pace Morby, Dedrick,
Yeah,
Zombie
I
Flipping, he's in Family
believe
Mastermind.
my business would be a phenomenal show called Trailer Park Turnaround. I own 3 trailer parks that I am turning around with some of the most interesting characters, and vacancies are high where I have to bring in new homes, rehab homes, kick people out, do evictions. I think it is not like a house flipping, but I think it'd be interesting to show people what it's like to run a trailer park in a show called Trailer Park Turnaround.
I think you should just make a YouTube channel and then you can keep all the money for that.
That's the second thing I was thinking of was doing it that way, but I also like the idea of A&E. But I went to their site and you have to have an agent. They won't let you just pitch to them. So I was like, maybe I could put it out into the ether that I have a phenomenal TV
I'll send
show.
you the guy's Instagram, Brad Holtzman. That's literally his job for A&E, and he does all the wholesaling shows that are on A&E are through him.
Trailer Park Turnaround. Anyway.
Love it.
So there we go.
Ted Sysops. I'm excited.
Yeah, guys. So I just want to be clear. It's TED System Operations for all of us in joining our show today. But it was when I was creating the logo and the name and stuff, it was a very wordy type of title. So I abbreviated it to make it sound cool and short. So TED Sysops for Transactions, Employees, Dispositions. It is truly one of a kind type of software, something that I needed in my business. Everyone runs their business differently, but it's like, I mean, John and Carlos know, but like running my own call center, running all my VAs, I did go the route.
I was going to say, to clarify too, because we're talking mobile home stuff.
Yeah.
The business of wholesaling or sourcing your own off-market single family, right. Just for the listeners, just to clarify.
This software is not just for single family. This software is basically to be your back end operating system for your real estate investment business, meaning it is to track all of your transactions, whether it's a wholesale deal, a buy and hold deal, a flip deal, an ovation deal, a listing deal, or a mobile home park type of thing. Or whether it's for all of that. It tracks, because even in mobile home parks, man, like I have VAs that are helping me, and I know a lot of guys that have VAs that are helping them scrub data. Like I have VAs that get me my data lists and all that stuff. So even in a mobile home park business, you may have employees overseas running, like we have them helping in our leasing business, and all of that requires payments and payroll and maybe bonuses and whether you have them cold calling sellers for you, whether it's single family, multifamily, or whatever it is. And then the dispo side is more than dispo. When I say that, it's like, it's not dispo, but it's really a buyer's dispo, not a marketplace. It's not trying to be your marketplace, but really about your buyers for your deals, your money lenders for your deals, your agents, everything that is around running that part of operation and the processes with it. But one of the things, man, it was hard. There's no software out there like it, because I was using Excel. So that was my problem, is I was trying to track every deal that I had when I was running my big team. And it was like, I had, maybe we had 12, 15 contracts, which ones were on hold, which ones had memos, which one didn't have memos, what ones did we put an EMD down on, but then, or what ones didn't, and we just didn't open title, right? Like we were just holding because maybe it was iffy and we were like, the seller's a little iffy. Like, should we even put that 500 or 1,000 EMD down? Although legally you need to put it down every time, check with your attorney. But it's like, what do you do and how do you track that? And then like you got a memo holding a seller that's backing out, and then you got a $500 or $1,000 deposit that you have to hold down there to keep that in force. And then do you remember all of that? And like, how much are you in escrows added up? So it became a lot. And then trying to calculate commissions off of all those things and having one centralized place for it was a lot on the transaction side for me. And I even had like our Excel guy or systems guy create me like a custom one too. And it was still like it was just Excel, right? Like there's only so much that you could do. And so anyway, that was kind of like one of my biggest pains, man. Was writing that on the transaction side.
And then really quick, because we've talked for the TED acronym, we've talked DISPO, which is like a buyer's DISPO. Sounds like you're just managing contacts essentially, not necessarily like an off market.
No, it's not a marketplace. It is not a marketplace. It is,
or even a place to find buyers. Can you find buyers in it?
Your buyers. It's about running your dispo of like you have a deal, how to get rid of your deal with all of your buyers. It is where you put your vetted buyers and where you build relationships. It's a dispo relationship management. So it's a DRM, basically.
And then the employee part. What are we tracking
that phrase.
What are we tracking specifically for the employee?
Bro, this was probably the bigger pain than just the TC stuff because so I forget, we probably had like up to 15 cold callers that we were running, and then on top of that we had QA people, managers, shift supervisor, follow-up specialists too. So we had just 15 cold callers, then staff on top of that. And one of the things that became pretty prevalent was, hey, it's Friday after, maybe you pay Monday, whatever it is. Hey boss, did you pay me yet? Hey boss, money hasn't cleared my bank account. And listen, it's cool if it happens once in a while, but you got 15 Filipinos or whatever asking their manager.
An outlier, not a standard operating procedure. It should not be the standard operating procedure of every Monday. Hey boss, where's this?
No, it shouldn't be. And it's like
an outlier.
But listen, they come from an industry that doesn't often pay them or will have people ghost them and not pay them. Yeah. And so they do get concerned. Now, obviously, they work with us for a while, but we would even have people that would work with us for like a year or two, and they would still get nervous and be like, hey, I haven't seen my payment clear. And I was like, how can I eliminate this for them to where we're communicating with them about payments? And then the other pain I had was about commissions. So like, it was often, and John, I know you run a lot of teams in your InvestorFuse system, and I'm sure they have this same problem, but it's like, oh, I sent them that lead, I get my bonus. And it's like, just because you send that and the person said they want to sell doesn't mean it turns into a deal.
Right.
That you're going to get a commission on. And then taking it a step further, if it becomes a deal, do they trust that you're going to actually be honest with them that it's a deal and pay them a commission and actually pay them the commission? And so then it became, what happened to that deal? Like, did it close? Like, what happened? You owe me that money. Yeah. So I wanted to find a way that would solve those problems of people asking us for money or like updates on their deals, updates on their commissions, updates on their salary. And then it was even a problem, surprisingly, was in office. So I went virtual, but even in office, because our TC was a separate department in another section of our office, and I would meet with them, a lot of times the acquisition rep would come back to me as their manager and be like, hey, what's going on with that deal? Like, how's my commission looking like? Did we assign that yet? What's going on? Or they'd be bugging the dispo guy, asking the dispo guy all the time, like, hey, where are you at with this deal? Like, what's going on? What did you assign it for? Something like that. And I wanted to find a way, again, to align my acquisition reps with understanding what their commissions are, not just in a way to not get them to ask me questions, but to motivate them to see how much commission they're actually earning real live time by tracking their deals and saying, here's my commission pipeline. Here's what I got closing this month. This one got assigned next month. Here's my commission, and actually see like a real sales pipeline of what their commissions are going to be. And so that's kind of how I came up with all of this stuff. And I put it together, to kind of make my business run smoother pretty much.
Yeah, it has some HR aspect to it almost.
It does. It reviews, like we could do reviews in it and log our reviews too. Cool. So like if I and I just did one recently, and it's like, okay, well, here's what you're getting paid now. Here's what we're promising to give you a raise to, and here's what your bonus is going to look like coming in 2024. You've done a good job, this and this. Logging all of that, logging those promises, and then setting a reminder for like another 6-month follow-up on that to see if they've earned it, is also doable too.
Interesting. How would you position this for real estate people? Like, to give an example, if I'm talking to somebody about InvestorFuse, I say InvestorFuse is for real estate investors that are marketing or sourcing their own off-market deals. who would you say for this? Who would you say Ted Sysops is for?
This is for real estate investors who are actually operating their business with a staff. If you
Gotcha.
have a staff, you need this.
Define staff. Could that be one other person or multiple
Yeah,
people?
it could be, as long as you're not a solopreneur, there is a purpose for this. So we break down, and I want to show you the system here in a second, but just to let you know, we break down the T, the E, and the D. So you don't need to purchase all of it. We run our monthly plans anywhere from as cheap as $35 a month up to $99 a month. So it's highly affordable for even the person doing one deal, and you just need somebody running just one TC, one acquisition rep, and then themselves. It's still affordable to do it and have an organized place to run all of that, all the way up to the dude running like 15 cold callers with like 5 sales reps, follow-up specialists. We have the ability for you to set independent bonus structures and pay structures for fixed salary and hourly salary. And here's the cool thing. We do all this, and I'll show you, by actually having them click in, and it actually, for hourly people, they click in that they're working and it tracks their time, and then it automatically clicks into how much you put in was their hourly rate. So it does timesheets.
That is
So
cool.
we're not screen recording. We don't have that functionality, but it's everything else where you would actually click, I'm working, no, I'm on break, I'm back from break, and we're tracking their time inside the software internally. So your employees are utilizing the software every day to track their time, to create their timesheets, on top of checking in on their commissions and bonuses, looking at their reviews. And we also have a spot for their processes too. So like you can upload their processes, and then when they do a job, if you hire an acquisition rep, automatically when you activate that acquisition rep, they'll get their scripts included inside their portal.
That's
So
cool.
no more do you have to like, oh, here's the email with the script or whatever. And likewise, if you fire them, they lose access to everything.
Very cool.
Let's see it.
All right, let's do this. Let's do this. Are you screen sharing? So if you take a look here, let me just go. So if you take a look here at the top, so right here, not this part, I don't know if you can see the sharing stuff, but right here, the on break. So I'm on break. I'm going to come back from break right now. And now I'm working. So this is where I'm creating my actual timesheet, I guess we could say.
Okay.
So I'm going to start at the beginning. And one of the things that I've created here, this is a demo team, but I wanted to show you guys like where my pain started, right? So I needed a place to track all of my deals. So I keep track of my for sale, my pending, my close, my deals on hold, what I'm canceling. And of course, all of this goes into like tabulate your totals and everything. So you can run your KPIs on your cancellations, your close, and how much profit you're making.
What's the difference between for sale and pending sale?
So for sale is like I'm actively marketing it, and pending is it's under contract. And we use this terminology because Carlos asked a good point, like who is this geared towards? So it's not just for wholesaling. So I know wholesaling, they use marketing or assigned, but this is meant for, I mean, I run my novations out of it. My seller finance, my regular listings, your listing of flip. So it is meant for all real estate investors, not just wholesalers. So we use more broad terminology, I guess. So for sale would be what a wholesaler would call marketing. Pending would be what you've assigned, and then closed is closed, obviously. So if you come into here, so this is just the basic. I did not, for this demo, I wanted to really focus on the employees in the employee side of stuff. So this is not a full transaction suite. I don't have that activated on the left-hand side here, but this is the base deal tracking that you get that comes from the transaction suite. So if you could take a look here, I can add my employees. So right now I got Carlos as my cold caller, and I got Brandon as my acquisition rep. And again, I can add I can add more people here. And then when I pick one, you can see, so if I had 5 acquisition people, I would be able to add them from here, but I only have 1 acquisition rep. So, and you can edit all of this and add on as many as you need. So that's how the employees get tracked in their transaction. And once I do that, That then pulls over to they have their own individual portal that they log in. They're not logging into this one. This is mine. This has all the features in it and the settings. They would only log into theirs where they see their pay and their deals and what they're tracking and their reviews or their processes. They don't get to see everything else unless you want them to. So obviously, a cold caller is going to have a very limited view, where a transaction coordinator is going to be seeing almost everything, and then maybe your operations person is going to see the entire thing as maybe like an owner would too. So Carlos can log in and just see that he is put on to California Avenue, and this is his deal and what his commission would be, if that makes sense.
Very cool. I was going to say that's probably one of the most frequently asked question, like the permissions and visibility for different team members.
Yeah, so it works in a couple different ways, but primarily, like, if you think about it, to keep it simple, they only get to see what you want them to see.
Yeah.
What's necessary. Like, what's if you're thinking right now, like, well, what is it? Just whatever intuitively you would want an acquisition rep to see, that's what they're going to see. They could see their deals. They could track their deal, and that's the purpose of it, is for them to be able to say, well, I'm on Chicago Avenue here. Oh, they've assigned it. Cool. I now don't need to go bug anybody. Oh, and they assigned it for X amount. Oh, that's 10K less than what I assumed. And now maybe we can alert them for some training purposes, because maybe they need to take Brandon's valuation course, because they need to learn how to value deals properly if we're continually not selling it at what they're proposing. And then here's a bunch of the TC stuff that populates again from our transaction suite. So all of this stuff would pre-populate as you're filling it out on our transaction side, whether you have deposits and all that stuff. And then again, the dispositions, projected sales prices, the original price versus projection. If it's a JV deal, we could start putting in JV companies, splits. Is it a fixed amount? Are you doing 50-50 on this? And then again, if it's assigned, we have all of that. And then it links to the buyer in our contact hub over here, basically. And then we start tracking everything, and you can fill out all of their information. So, like, especially if you're doing a lot of JVs, tracking how much you're spending on JVs and who you work with the most is very clutch, I think.
Is that JV like calculated into the the commissions that the employee would end up seeing? Because I know sometimes people don't know that a deal's being JV'd, and they're like, I thought there was 30K room in there, but it's only like 15K is going to that company, 15K is going to a different company.
So we run a couple different numbers. So, like, because we thought of that, right? Like, that was the thing. Because for me, I'm giving my commission off net, what I receive, not gross, what I sell. So the JV fee would be net of the JV fee. So you could start to see, if we had the JV fee in here, you could start to see like my estimated gross profit. Now, let's say my JV fee was 50%, right? My net right here is going to be 17K or whatever that would work out to be, right? Because it would be net of the JV fee. But you can see my commissions all tabulated here. So Brandon Pedersen gets a 5% net of the net profit. So it would work off of this amount down here. And so right now that's $17.50. Then Carlos gets a $20 for per contract at closing, and Carlos also gets $200 per fixed closed deal. So you can see we have different commissions, because that's how I would pay my guys, because I paid based on what I wanted. I want contracts and I need my closed deals. So those were our two like things we were aligning. So they would get a very small bonus for a contract, and then a large bonus for a closed deal. So their job was to send over good deals we could get contracts on, but they don't necessarily have control over us closing it. And I still wanted to give bonuses for that. So we kind of structured the bonuses in a way that it was very flexible.
Yeah. And then from my perspective, I wouldn't be able to see your commission, right?
No, again, I'm an admin, like I'm a manager, so I'm seeing everything. But no, Carlos, you necessarily wouldn't even see this, right? All of those details. You would only see your deal and what was happening in your deal. You wouldn't see anything that wasn't necessarily relating to you.
Nice. That's cool. And it looks
really cool. We can add expenses too, categories. So, you have a runner, you have whatever, picture taker, like on a novation, you may have full-on inspections, marketing packages, all those things. You start adding them in, and then that goes down to net and everything down there.
Very cool.
We track dates too, so you could really start your KPIs going. Days to close. Like how long does everything take you to sell a deal, to assign a deal, and we track all of that stuff, and we have all of our statuses: funded, closed, pending, all that. But let's get over here. So here's what it looks like. So Brandon had that one deal. Brandon's got a couple other deals, but Brandon's got that one deal, and I want to show you kind of what that looks like over here. So I have like my timesheet, right? Or my pending commissions. So like you could see I got some pending sale commissions. So that one was only 1,700. So you could see I probably got like 2 deals going right now in the demo team. So you see I got 2,800 pending commissions coming, and then I've already made 650 going through right now. And then here's my timesheet. So you can see my timesheet, like I'm logging time right now, boom, boom, boom. And here's the approval. So basically, whether it's approved or not, and I can show you that on the admin side of like how basically I'll go through and get alerted. I'll get alerted to everything basically and saying, hey, like this guy's, you're due to log this, pay this timesheet. Now's the time. And then I'll go through and do that. And I can show you that. So like pending commission. So you can see here some details, and here's my deals of my pending commission describing it. So as a sales guy, think about how important that is for me. I could see when I come in as a sales guy, I could see all this, and I know where I'm at in the process, whether it's being marketed, whether it's been assigned or pending sale. Like especially if you bring people in on their flips too, they could see that, right? If your acquisition guys actually get a piece of the flip side too, they'll get to see all of that because you can put all that in here basically, and then funded.
What's the difference between closed and funded?
I put that there because closed doesn't always mean funded. So like one of the issues was, and I know wires happen all the time, but let's say it happens on a Friday, I close on a Friday. People are cool, like, oh, it's part of this payroll, right? No, dude, or it happens on a Thursday, right? Payroll's on Friday. No, man, like I'm not including it because it hasn't funded yet, so it's
you
closed.
Haven't got that money in the bank account yet.
Yeah, so there's a difference between us closing a deal and the money actually being funded into our bank account, and then we would have funded. Funny story is I actually had a deal go closed, almost funded, and they pulled the money back from us because the seller lied to us. It was a whole clusterfuck. We were going to make like 60K on that deal, and I watched the money get pulled right back out as they asked me to wire it back to them. They couldn't actually pull it out. We had to rewire it. But yeah, so that was closed but never fully funded. So there's a reason why we have these things separate, so the employee understands where they're at in their commission cycle.
Does this help, like, you as a business owner or a manager understand like when to pay things? Because like, I mean, I can see the commissions moving from for sale to pending to closed to funded, but that doesn't necessarily, like you're saying, pay period ends on like Friday. Is it included in this? Like, how does that, is that anything in here?
Yeah, so like we have here, so here's like kind of the admin side of Employee Sentinel. That's what we're calling it, Employee Sentinel. So you could see like I have different thing here, like employees' cost to pay and like their due date. So like I'm overdue right now to pay Brandon his $64 via PayPal, right? So I can click here and I can click pay. Now listen, this doesn't, no one's asked it, but I just want to.
This is my next question.
Okay, go ahead, ask it.
If you pay directly from here.
No, I would love to, but that's not where we're at.
Like
right now.
That button that if you scroll down a little bit.
No, it doesn't. I know what button you're talking about. What that does is, I'm not going to click it right now, but it's going to clear it and say that it's been paid. So what
it's tracking. It's tracking what you're doing.
Go back to the one Carlos is more $220 and hit.
Yeah, I know. Carlos.
Let's just see what happens when it says pay.
So we don't have that linkage yet, but right now it's more about getting the employee to understand that instead of asking your manager, you can go and see that, yes, the bookkeeper or the accounting team has processed your payment. Yes, you have been logged as paid. It is now about your bank not clearing the funds on your side. So you do not need to be messaging us on a Saturday or a Sunday or whatever, because the payment went through Friday evening in your bank, which is a very common thing when dealing with people overseas, is payments getting held. So I want them to know that it's been paid. So what happens is I click that button that said pay Brandon. On Brandon's side, it shows now that pending commission is now moved over to paid commission. And now Brandon knows, okay, that commission came out on this payroll. Or Carlos, the cold caller.
So, like, what
that
somebody would
example.
do on their end is they'd be in this screen looking at
Yeah.
what they have to pay, and they'd be going to whatever PayPal, Remitly, Wire, send the actual money, and then click in here and say, I did just send the money.
Yes, that's exactly what it is. So like RT, whoever it is, your office admin will come over and work in PayPal or Remitly, pay them, and then say, I've done my job, boom, boom, boom. And I'm not, I'll just show you, but we have a cool calendar feature that actually will show like the TC person, anyone's employee, whatever their role is, on the calendar. It'll show them what's due when. So you can see I have all my closings here and all of the different dates. If you're a TC, your calendar will update with your payroll that's due on those Fridays or Mondays based on the due dates. So for me, I'm labeled as an acquisition guy, not a TC guy or whatever, or an admin. So right now it's just showing me all of my sales and all of the dates for those sales.
Nice.
But if you're, let's say you have that person as your bookkeeper, whoever it's going to be, they would show that on their calendar.
I like this calendar area is helpful. For thinking of just relating it to IF3 specifically on the investor view side, it's titled or described as an action-based CRM. So workflow-wise, somebody that's in the system is mainly working out of actions. Obviously, You can look at opportunities and you can go and adjust back-end things like sequences and stuff like that. But day-to-day, you're looking at that. I almost see some people, a big portion of their day-to-day is at least reviewing this of part of the day of just getting like a 30,000 foot view
of what's going on. That's exactly what it is. So we also send out emails. So like you'll get like an email if you're a user, like whatever your role is. So if you're a TC, that's probably the most, and an owner, let's just say those are the most important people in the company, right? The TC and the owner who run the deals. You're going to get an email saying, here's your, you have due diligence dates expiring today. You have closings, you have these closings this week and this month. So that way you're apprised of what's happening on your deals. So you'll get individual emails about due dates and then also like a group email about like, here's what's open item type of thing being updated to you.
That's cool.
Boom, boom, boom. So what do you guys think so far?
Very cool.
I like it.
I
definitely
similar to the IF. Not to cut you off there, John.
You're good.
I was going to say similar interface to Investor Fuse, which makes it feel homey and familiar. But I think it's an interesting mashup of like a timesheet software mixed with like I don't even know another tool that on the disposition side that has like a calendar. It's essentially like a digital whiteboard mixed with a timesheets /HR tool.
Yeah.
I mean, what do you know? So I know people use physical whiteboards, right? Like they literally have a giant whiteboard in their office and they're writing down the deals and they have different columns. Like, are there other like potential mashups of software that this is replacing? Like, I know you said you did some of the in Excel, but are you doing like the timesheet functionality elsewhere? And like,
so we're basically getting rid of our Time Doctor account now that we're fully switched over to this. Like we've been working on this, so we're fully switching over to this and getting rid of Time Doctor. The only thing it doesn't replace on Time Doctor, it does more, but what it doesn't do of Time Doctor is the screen recording. So like if you don't trust your employees, I can't solve that for you by screen recording them. I'm just simply taking out the timesheet and hour function of it. That's it, and going on break and all that stuff. I'm taking that responsibility from you. If you have an issue with your employees doing their job, yeah, you're probably still going to need some type of screen recording thing. We're not at that point. That's not really its intention. But go ahead.
Does this integrate with anything? So like your customer avatar, they'd be using other real estate softwares and tools. Is there anything that's like sending data into this or out of this?
Yeah, so we have API functionality, so we'll be able to get data in from just about every CRM if they have API function, if they're capable of it too. So that's kind of.
Is it pushing data out anywhere?
Not currently, no.
Okay.
So our goal
can't really
is,
think of like something that I would need to push data out to.
it's
Because I
not
mean,
really,
you're giving the employees the access that they need to
Yeah.
see. Um, like I don't. Yeah, I mean, you're kind of taking over the whole process and running everything. So I can't think of a reason why I would want it.
exactly, like stuff comes in. So like if you get a
Yeah.
buyer, let's say you're and I don't know anything about investor lift, but like if you get a buyer in investor lift, you need to keep it somewhere. So you would be pushing buyer data in. You'd be pushing, if you're on the phone with somebody and you're getting a new money lender, you're going to push that data in on that side. If you're a TC, you're getting your deals pushed in from your CRM. So that's really the bulk of it, is stuff coming into it, not really going out. Our dashboard that we're in the midst of doing right now, you saw that like when I clicked in, it said coming soon. That's going to be where all the data goes to, all these KPIs that we're tracking. Everything that you put in there is being tracked. Closing time frames, all that stuff, profits, money, salaries, who your best employee is, who the worst performing one is, all that stuff is going to be in there. And that's important. I know you laugh, but like, dude, I want to know who I'm paying the most money to.
Yeah.
I want my guys to see it, and I want everyone to know who's making the most. Like, I have a idea of like having it where like on your team dashboard you could show like everyone sees in a department, right? Have a
At
department
least like
team dashboard.
commissions or salary as well.
Yeah. No, just commission. Who's earning the
Okay.
most commission? Who's got the most deals, and being able to see that as a competition. I
That's
think
cool.
that's important on the sales side stuff. So here we have a lot of different things. So we set up zip codes, cities, markets, event types. So you can have like listings, novation, seller finance, all these things you can have set up. Marketing channels. So again, when it comes pushed over, you put your marketing channel in there because we're tracking all of that on the transaction, on the deal tracker side in the whiteboard. On the employee side, this is where like it really gets interesting. So like here's kind of just a little sneak peek. Carlos and John, I think you're gonna like this. This is kind of like the sexy stuff if you're an owner of like, look at everything I can track and set. So like the access that I'm giving them, like I gave them access to TED, I gave them access to Employee Sentinel. Here's their birth date, their hire date, which is something that, listen, I needed my guy to put this in there because I kept forgetting people's anniversaries and like birthdays. And I was like, this is unacceptable as a boss. Like, I want email reminders. I want to be reminded. I want like a notification coming to me so I could track it, so I can wish them a happy anniversary, get them a gift. I shouldn't be missing, as a boss, I should not be missing people's anniversaries. So we put that type of stuff in there. So here, like, you could pick commission, fixed salary,
we can't
hourly.
see the drop downs. I'm not sure why, but for some reason we see the field, but you click into it, we don't see the drop down. Oh, we see that one. But when you just clicked into the other one, we didn't see any other options.
Well, so anyway, like all these things are drop downs, so I could set my salary. I could set like when I pay them and stuff. Like you can't see me clicking on that.
You have salaries and commissions separate?
Yeah. So even my salary people may be getting commissions, right? Like, so like my acquisition people run on a salary and a commission basis, whereas my follow specialists run on an hourly and a bonus commission basis. My cold callers run on hours. So everyone's different. So you could set that up because you could put everyone in here. This could be your list poolers, your SMS texters,
everybody.
Everybody could be in here, your in-office people and your virtual. So you could have an admin up front, your executive assistant. All these people can be in here. And again, they only see what it is, which is why, Carlos, I called it like the operating system. It's not just for wholesalers. It runs your back office pretty much for all of this.
You have something like team bonuses, like if in the month of May or in the month of January we got to 50K in profit, like actual funded profit, everybody gets a $200 bonus.
I actually do have that. Yeah, that's a thing. Now it's not necessarily for everybody; it's for the managers. So like if a manager gets everybody to a certain point of this point, you get whatever. And again, you're going to pay differently if it's in an office versus somebody overseas, but maybe it's a $1,000 or a $5,000. Hey, if you hit 250, you get a 5K bonus or something like that on top of all your other bonuses. This is like a different type of spiff type of thing. So you would get that added on.
Cool.
This is cool for like onboarding an employee too. Like, I don't know if you type it directly in here, or there's some type of form that feeds into here that puts it in there automatically.
So you can't see it because I'm not an employee side of this right now, but it's not necessarily for onboarding per se. But when I assign Carlos, I hire Carlos and I put him in, Carlos is going to see on his side all of his onboarding stuff. So again, if you have like a Kajabi thing, no, it's not going to be built into here, but you could go to Kajabi, but your logins will be in there for Kajabi, whatever it is you train on. But more importantly, all your Google Docs, your Word docs, everything about like the rules, your hiring documents, everything's going to be saved out in your employee profile for you to access, to review, to refer to. So again, I use the example of an acquisition rep. When they get hired, their script, their call protocol, all of that stuff, their ideal buyers, all that stuff is going to be loaded into their stuff for their onboarding with all their logins. So you give them this one login, they then can do everything else that they need to do. How to set up their email process, that'll be there as a Word document. They click into it or follow the link and they'll be good to go.
Very solid. This is a good tool to flex for if you're looking to hire like a TC or dispo manager and walking them through what it would look like too. They'd be like,
Yeah.
dang, this person is like, this operator or owner of the company is super dialed in on their back end stuff.
Yeah, I
Sure.
wish I could show you drop downs. I don't know why it's not translating over on this screen share because like we have a lot of options in here. But anyway, I mean, you get the idea. Like you can see all the different stuff that we can set up here. On like how you calculate the potential commissions too. Like, so there's a lot of different things that you could do with how you calculate the employee's commission. Like for here, I have it based off closed deal revenue, closed deal profit. So commissions are based that way, and potential percentage commission versus fixed fee commission. We can add a lot of roles in here too. So like you can have different roles. I think all we got under the role side of it is just the acquisition and just the closer. It's loading, but let's see. That's about it, man. Oh, the other thing, so here you go. So like selling reasons. So we got selling reasons, agents, buyers. So you could start adding all of these things in, like your title companies and stuff.
Nice.
I think that's important too, tracking all of that stuff. And then finally, just running over here real quick to contact them. Again, this is more of a Rolodex of what it is. So like I just put in like Brandon Smith's a buyer, an investor, or an agent. If I wanted to, I just created these right before the thing, but if I wanted to put the agent in here, I could track their area of coverage,
Nice.
like the
Oh, that's
agent's
cool.
skill set. So like, and you can add all these specialties, right? So this agent is creative. He could do creative deals. I don't know if you can see my drop down, but like he could do sub 2. So I added sub 2 to it. Can you see me add
Yeah,
that?
we can't see the drop downs.
Okay.
Can you see
So
them,
I added
Carl?
I see Aria. I saw it after he added them in, and I
Oh,
see
okay.
it. I see the cursor blinking right now. Or I
So
did.
like I can add in the different type of stuff this agent does,
Oh, cool.
So like for example, let's say you're doing an innovation in Dallas or something and you're like, damn, like your TC or whoever it is like, I need to go find me an agent in that can do novations or sub 2 in Dallas. You just run up to the search and you search that field and boom, you're going to get your agent, and you may have a bunch of them. So then you can kind of see based on their listings that the deals they've done for you. Like
Mm-hmm.
what deals have they done? Have they worked with you before? Or what are they doing? You could track
Oh,
that
that's cool.
too. And you could see their areas of coverage, states, markets, cities, zip codes. You could see all that. So you'll be able to keep track of all the agents you're working with, along with all the buyers that you prefer to work with. Um, you know, so like different LLCs offers, all the offers they make or deals that they buy are tracked in here too. So you're keeping track of that as you're going through the transaction suite and logging everything. So your dispo guy could be in here keeping track of all of his buyers and stuff. And then your TC, when that buyer buys the deal, can add that buyer onto that deal, and then everything tracks back to them.
Very cool. This
But
thing is built out.
a lot of it is relationships. It's not men. I don't want to be a marketplace. That's not what it is. You already have Town Square. You have Investor Lift. They've got that locked down. They're good at what they do. But there's not a big relationship management tool out there that really handles it, that is in sync with your back office. And that's what this is meant for, is to be your operational system for your real estate business.
Love
Very
it.
cool. I like it.
Looks
There's
awesome.
a lot of things in here that, I mean, we at InvestViews, we have some of the kind of the whiteboard, a minimal part of the whiteboard tracking in our transactions kind of management system. But this, like the way it extends into the employees, is really cool. And certainly something like, I don't think we'd ever really get to that level in an InvestorFuse. Like we're trying to be a CRM, not what you're doing.
DRM.
An
Yeah,
an HR, DRM. Yeah.
HDRM. So like here, I can even switch between views. So I got my list view, my Kanban view,
Cool.
or my calendar view to see all my
Nice.
different deals. So like you can look at it in different ways, add new deals, month, week, day, all that stuff.
What can you filter by there?
Well, you can filter by
That's
all
impressive, Papa P. Good work on this.
I appreciate you, man. So you could filter by wholesale, the different. Right now, I only have wholesale and listing in here because it's a demo team. But if I had like Novation, all those seller finance sub 2, you'd be able to filter by those to see what deals you have going on in those categories as well. And again, it'll be on your dashboard too that you could build out when we finalize our dashboard. Right now, we're just working on getting the rest of the features in for everybody.
Just because I have a meeting at the top of the hour, I want to ask. I don't know if you guys are going to hang out longer, but when is it available? How do people get in touch? How do people check it out?
You can just DM me at Mr.Realovative. You see my thing down there, and just message me, Ted, and then I'll get you in, and I'll talk to you, see if you're a good fit. Again, as long as you're doing deals and you have a team, it's going to be a fit. If you're not doing deals, you don't need this.
Mm-hmm.
If you're doing one deal all by yourself, or even if you're doing 3 deals by yourself, like pretty much you don't need it. But listen, we run plans from $35 to $99, and then even depending on the feature set, you get all the features. We don't hold back features. You pay versus your usage, basically. So again, for very low usage, $35, and then $99 if you're like a performing team. The individual plans go up, but you get all the features for it. So if you want the employee package, you could get that. If you want the DRM package, you get that. And then if you want the transaction package, you can get that. If you want the whole thing, man, I mean, honestly, it's still pretty priced well. It's only $180 for the entire system a month on the low end, all the way up to about $390 for the entire full-fledged, no features held back. You're doing a shit
That's
ton
like
of
usage.
deals.
Is it usage
And
based?
that's
Or
usage,
like
and that's
how many
usage based.
deals you're doing?
That's if you're
or-
doing like 10 plus deals every
Okay.
single month. The max you're going to be paying is like just under $400 for the entire freaking software from start to finish. Employees, transactions, dispo, you get every feature. We don't do like a Pro, you only get some features. Premium, you get a little more. No, we base it on your basic if you're only doing 1 to 3 deals. And then again, if you're like Pro, you're doing like 5 to 7 deals or something. And then again, Premium, you're doing that. So that just gives you how much bandwidth you have in our system to log that many deals and to track that many deals every single month.
Cool. Well, I'm excited to see how it goes for you. I mean, I definitely think there's a need. I can't think of any software that real estate investors are currently doing, minus like hodgepodging 3 to 4 other pieces of software together that a lot of them probably aren't focused towards real estate investors.
You can use Monday. Like you can use Monday. I know I use Monday on like my mobile home stuff, and I want to transfer my mobile home stuff into this, and I need to add some features to do that. One of the problems is, guys, and I know we got a hard stop, but it's tying it all together for your employees to have a cohesive operating system for your investing business, to track all of that stuff in there, and to have it housed somewhere where you could KPI it, dashboard it. You can make it fun. Your sales guys can refer to it. Your employees, you could do your HR out of it. It's just, that's it. Everyone focuses on their CRM and their marketplace. They're like, man, I need a buyer marketplace and I need a CRM, but no one focuses on the in between. And honestly, if you think about it, like the gold is in between.
I'm sure it's like a big headache for a lot of people trying to manage the in between. Like that's
especially
why
if you have VAs.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like that's a lot. Like if you're paying,
like just doing payroll, like not having what you just showed us and trying to do payroll and like trying to calculate it.
A lot of Excel sheets.
Yeah.
All right, so this is awesome. I'm excited to refer people over. Am I good to bounce without messing up the stream?
Yeah.
Yeah, you're good.
Cool. Awesome, guys. Take it easy.
See you, Carlos.
But yeah, man, I mean, it's something that I think is necessary for people to have again, the pain came from trying to do it with Excel. I tried it with
Yeah.
Time Doctor, Hubstaff. I tried many different things and it wasn't working for me, man. I was like, Jesus, like the questions don't stop. When am I getting paid? How much am I making? When's that commission coming? Like, am I still getting my commission at the end of this month? Have I hit that bonus yet? Like, so I just wanted something that would show them that. And then
Yeah.
on the transaction side, it was just annoying. It was like tracking everything in Excel and tabulating all my profits and using a whiteboard was just annoying. And I was like, man, I really want to have my processes worked out for my TC stuff so I don't forget things.
Mhm.
And so I needed something for that. And then on the dispo side, everyone's got a marketplace and it's cool. Like, but where am I putting all the I talk to someone and they say, yeah, I'm a lender, or yeah, I'm a banker, or yeah, I'm a buyer and this and this. Where am I saving all that? Other than
Yeah.
Podio, there's not a real spot for that. And Podio,
Yeah.
I didn't want to be on Podio.
Yeah. Nobody wants to be on Podio anymore.
But honestly, Podio is probably a great solution for
Yeah,
somebody who,
you can build it out
yeah,
the way you want it to, but that has its downsides too.
100%. So anyway, dude, that's what I got, man. But Carlos had asked, when's it going live? I mean, it's going live at the new year. So a couple days here, we're going live. If anybody's interested in having a walkthrough on it, see it, signing up for it, talking more about the pricing plans and what's good for them, see if it's a good fit for them, they could just DM me the word Ted at Mr.Realivative and we'll kind of go from there.
Love it. Well, I hope a bunch of people reach out to you. It'll be exciting to see it continue to grow and what you kind of do next with it. But man, it does a lot already, which is exciting.
Yeah, it does, man. It's pretty sweet.
Very
Pretty
cool.
sweet.
Well, thanks for coming to the show, everybody. Make sure you go to links.letstalkrealestate.tv.
Happy New Year.
Happy New Year. Follow us on YouTube. Make sure that in 2024 you tune in every Friday for this lovely show.